Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and today I am finally getting around to talking about Acidic Glavenus. This was announced, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard about this, but if you missed it, last week during the SDCC or the San Diego Comic-Con panel, there was a lot of stuff shown. They kind of had like a Monster Hunter panel like they did before Monster Hunter World launched. They spoke about some of the subspecies, they spoke about various different aspects of the game, and they also revealed the new Acidic Glavenus, which is a subspecies of one of my favourite monsters, which is so incredibly awesome. Now, yes, this was announced last week. Normally, I do try to cover things as quickly as possible. However, I was on holiday last week. You guys might have seen the community post on YouTube. I took a little week off, went to Japan, went to Okinawa just to chill out on some beaches, even though it rained every single day. But either way, that's why the video wasn't last week, so forgive me for the minor delay. But today, Capcom actually dropped a small snippet of gameplay. It's only about a minute and a half long, so there's not a great deal of stuff to see. And basically, it's just a hunter getting slapped around by Acidic Glavenus, just showing off some of the different moves. But still, it's really cool to see it in motion. Now, of course, there was also the presentation from SDCC, and a massive shout out to Bless RNG, who took some photos of the different things, talking about the various different aspects of the game. So I'm going to reference some of those in this video. So if you guys want to check out the thread, then I'll link his Twitter in the description box down below. Super awesome guy. So massive shout out to him for sharing those images. But basically, for any of you that missed it, then this is Acidic Glavenus. It's a new subspecies for Glavenus, which we recently got confirmed for Monster Hunter. If you're sitting there thinking, what the hell or who the hell is Glavenus, then check out the video I did in the description box down below. That explains who the returning monster is, but this one is brand new. We have never had an Acidic Glavenus. The closest thing we had to a subspecies before was, of course, the Deviant, which was Hellblade, which is also a really cool monster, but this one, completely new. Now, it's really cool because I'm loving the kind of slightly more metallic green shimmery look to it. I do love the red aesthetic of the typical one, but I do really like the way this one is coloured. However, as I mentioned before, subspecies are not just these reskins or these repaints, they also behave very differently, and this one has a very interesting difference when it comes to its tail. Glavenus is a monster where the tail is kind of one of the sort of feature points of it. Obviously, it can also fire out fireballs, the regular one, but normally, the tail is kind of the signature point of that monster, and for the Acidic one, they took it one step further. They said one of the first things to note is that Acidic Glavenus has a much stronger focus on tail attacks versus, say, the other one, which kind of, balances between breath attacks, where it shoots out fireballs, and of course tail attacks too. This one is very tail heavy, and the reason for that is because it's got a rather interesting mechanic. So, over time, the tail will accrue these jagged spikes, and when you're attacked by this, you then get a debuff applied. Now, they didn't say what that debuff is at the time being. It could well be something like defense down, given the yellowy cloud it kicks up, but we'll have to wait and see when we actually see like actual gameplay with HUD on, then we can kind of better work out exactly what it is. But basically, if you're hit by the tail in this super spiky state, then you get a debuff applied to you. Now, also, when it's in this state, it moves at a regular pace. However, when it sharpens it, it then strips all these spikes off, and you get a much cleaner, sleeker, sword-like tail. In fact, it's modeled to look kind of like a katana, and the idea is that when it's in this state, it loses the ability to apply the debuff to you, but in doing this, it becomes faster, it becomes more aggressive, it becomes more powerful, and basically it's going to become a force to be reckoned with. So you then got these kind of two very distinctly different states, whereas the previous Glavenus, obviously it would heat up its tail, it would then, sharpen it, it would use it for attacks, but this one, there are two different ways you're going to fight it. You're either going to have a very fast, aggressive, powerful Glavenus with a sharp tail, or you're going to have a slightly slower, regular speed Glavenus with a tail that can apply debuffs to you, which is very, very cool. Now, they also, during the panel, showed the kind of the evolution for it throughout development. They showed a couple of initial early concepts. The very first one made the tail look slightly more like an axe, which actually looks really cool. I kind of like that concept, but they did say it looked a little bit like a chainsaw, so they scrapped that design. The second one, they put a bigger focus on really dialing in the poison look on the tail, that sort of debuff look, but they scrapped that. I'm guessing maybe they did that because it looks kind of reminiscent of Brachydios, so maybe they just thought, we need to differentiate it more. So that's ultimately how they ended up here, where they decided to make the tail look sleek, clean, like a katana, and of course you then have the polar opposite, which is the very jagged, spiky look. Now, during SDCC, they did also share an intro cutscene. Unfortunately, Capcom haven't released that yet. I'm hoping they do at some point. Typically, following presentations, they gradually roll stuff out, so I'm hoping at some point we get that. But in the cutscene, it fights Great Gyros, and we also see the spikes kind of secrete out the tail, and it looks really cool when you see that happening. So I cannot wait to fight this thing when it comes out, because I've mentioned before, I love Glavenus. It's a really awesome monster, really awesome fight, and to have this new take on it, that's going to be super awesome. Now, something else to note as well in this gameplay that I'm just kind of looping in the background, it appears the hunter is wearing ebony Odogaron gear, or at least part of it, and the weapons, because you've actually got the Odogaron weapons, but it's got that black ebony colouring to it, so that's pretty cool. They also showed during the presentation a few other screenshots of ebony Odogaron, and of course also Fulgur Anjanath. We've seen the armor for that one. They look really cool, but that much we've kind of seen already. So for the most part, that's pretty much it. That's a quick rundown of Acidic Glavenus. Just in case you didn't catch it last week, then that is what you need to know. They did also round out the presentation saying that there will be more subspecies announced, and they had a picture of Paolumu, Tobikadachi and Puke, not subspecies versions, they just had them on a slide, so I don't know whether that's them hinting at these could be the other subspecies versions, or whether they just literally had them as images of them. I'm not too sure. But either way, when we find out more, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. But for the time being, that's kind of it. That's a quick catch up on Acidic Glavenus. That's the new gameplay that Capcom released today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of it, and of course stay tuned for plenty more. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.